The best plant watering technique you've ever seen.
This is the expanding moat technique.
You're doing absolutely nothing for the plant if you're watering right at the trunk.
Everyone knows bottom watering plants in pots is highly effective because it forces roots to chase water deep in the pot.
Well, that's easy when your plant's in a pot. But what about trees in the ground?
So why don't we just water from the bottom of the hole?
Obviously, that isn't practical. So I set out to find a way to get massive growth in fruit trees, borrowing the techniques of the bottom watering to fruit trees that are in the ground. And we did just that. Once we developed this new watering technique, it changed everything for our farm.
So what is it?
The expanding moat technique takes inspiration from a castle moat, meaning surrounded by water. It's a deep watering method near the drip line or the edge of the branches. And you'll sometimes see trees planted with this tree ring method, but it never accounts for the tree getting any larger. The key to this method is expanding the moat outward as the tree grows. This way, roots are constantly chasing water outside of the root ball, forcing it to grow. If you water near the trunk, roots stay comfortable where they are, and the tree ends up staying small, like it's pod-bound. Bonsai trees are kept small in this exact way by keeping the root system condensed. Let's plant a tree together using the expanding moat technique. Start by digging a hole about double the size of the root ball, keeping the crown of the plant about 2 to 3 inches above the ground. Add compost up around the root ball so no roots are showing. Finally, you'll add the soil ring to the outside of the moat, which will contain the water. Sculpt it all nicely by hand at the end to make sure there's no escape points for the water. Rebuilding any low spots as needed to finish.
Now we've put these flags in to remind you exactly where the root ball is. The root ball is not out here, it's all the way in here on this plant right now. And we don't want to water right on top of the root ball. We want these roots to come out and chase the water outside the root ball, thus growing the plant much bigger, much faster. And we want to make sure to water even deeper than that, many buckets, or put a hose on here for 5 or 10 minutes. Let it soak deep down. We don't just want the roots coming sideways out. We want them coming sideways and down as deep as possible. And each soil is going to be a little different. Some soils, let's say real sandy soils, you're going to have to water even more because the water is going to want to drain through really fast. So you want to kind of dig down and test, is that water that we're watering here reaching the root ball? If not, you might have the opposite effect and stunt the growth of your tree if it's not receiving any water. So be careful to test. Now, since this is the expanding moat strategy, we've already seen the moat part, but what about the expanding part? As the tree gets larger and larger, we're going to move out the berms wider and wider. The outer ring is going to move outward, and we're going to have to add some new material as well. We'll also have to expand the inner ring. This I simply do by adding more material rather than moving it. The best part is you could do this with any tree that's already in the ground in your yard. If you want to speed up its growth, its drought tolerance, and most importantly, its fruit production, this is a great way to do it, which is what we did here for this pear tree. Now you can simply use a garden hose like I have here, or you can install permanent irrigation, and I also have that on this tree. And notice I have a flexible pipe. You need a good amount of flex, so this way you can actually change the location. The end here is called a bubbler, and you can find that at your local hardware store. And this is a Phillips head screwdriver. You can screw it in or screw it out, and that'll increase or decrease the flow rate on the irrigation. So you just want to get yourself some landscape staples, and you can put your permanent irrigation with the staple into the ground in the correct spot that you're looking for, and then change it when you need to in the future.
I should mention, if there's any slope at all to the land where you're building your moat, you need to put the water source at the highest point. Therefore, the water travels downhill and surrounds the plant perfectly.
Oh, super cool.
Which is exactly what the floating duck represents: flow of water downhill.
One of the most important parts is, do not forget to add mulch to your tree rings. This will help retain the moisture and prevent evaporation from drying out the rings and the moat. And look at the fungal networks that I have in my mulch that's been aging for about a year or two. This is the best possible thing you could do for your fruit trees. Once these fungal networks establish around the tree, it'll actually feed it more of the water and nutrients as well. Well, there you have it, the expanding moat method. This is what it should look like when it's completed. If you have any further questions, leave it down in the comments, and we hope you continue to grow sweet.